Welcome to the Groomsmen podcast. It's your boy Kenny, the CEO of the Groomsmen Barbershop. We're going to be talking about barbers, business, and bullshit. Stay tuned with us. We're giving you the keys and the tools you need to succeed in the barber and business industry. Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Kenny from the Groomsmen podcast. Got my boy Sachi Rory and our special guest JayR, known for worldwide Rat Pack security. I'm excited about this podcast. I know my man got so much in depth of a story to tell. And we want to hear it from the beginning. We want to hear how it started off.
The glitz and the glamour.
From Cali, growing up in the hood, the military, to business owner, to entrepreneur, to celebrity security. What have you not done? You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited about this, man. So let's start from the beginnings, man. Talk to us about yourself.
Definitely. First before we start, I just want to say to Kenny and Rory, man, the growth is like humongous. And I remember from the first time I walked into the barbershop, 2017, and Kenny started cutting my hair, and I started getting introduced to Rory and the teammates, the Avengers in here, and I'm like, damn, this is dope, and then we quickly hit it off because we talked about business, and then you guys saw me from the growth of Rat Pack. The fall.
I seen it from the foundation.
The beginning, and it's crazy, you know what? Because we were friends before anything, and Kenny can call me in the middle of the night, and he know it, and I'll pull up. I'm there right there, and Rory know the same thing. Rory in business, whatever he makes a lot of awesome beats, and whatever I can do to put him in situation, they family. So when they offered me to do this, I had to pray about it. You know what I'm saying? I got to manifest it. I got to understand what's going on with my value and see what I went through was very traumatic, but I wouldn't turn it down for anything. So I accepted it, prayed about it. God was like, this today, let's do it. So I'm ready to, spit fire on the mic and let people know where I'm from, where I come from, and go from there.
100%, man. We appreciate it too, bro.
Yeah,
we appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah.
And for those that are tuning in that don't know, JayR is my personal security. So
definitely
back the fuck up.
Yeah. Game time. So
yeah, I'm gonna, from ever since I met this man, in 2017, I seen him, do a lot of things like we all do. We try to tap every avenue possible, and I can say this is 100% honest. He kept it a buck with me since the very beginning. Before, after, I mean, to be honest, I didn't even know anything happened because his attitude is never say quit kind of attitude, right? And in this world, when you're dealing with these kind of sharks out here, sometimes you need that kind of mental fortitude to be able to get to where you need to.
Definitely
100%.
It's all love too. All love.
So those that don't know, Jay, come from California.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your upbringing. Where you're from exactly?
Wow, I'm from Long Beach, California, North Long Beach to be exact. So everybody from that section already know what time it is. But growing up in California, we was raised on 101st and Avalon in Los Angeles, and from the ages from like 1 to like 6, me and my sister and my family members, we saw a lot in Los Angeles. So Los Angeles is different from Long Beach, and Compton is different from Los Angeles and all these inner cities, but we got our own way of how we rep things, but it's all in that culture. You feel me? So my dad thought it was, conducive for us to go to Long Beach school districts. So he would get up at 4:30 in the morning and drive us to our grandma's house, who stayed on the border of Compton and Long Beach, which is called North Long Beach. But if you blink, you're right next to Compton College. So if you hop the gate one way is Greenleaf. If you go across the street, Long Beach Boulevard, it's where another hood is at. So it's like you got to understand the politics at a young age. I remember walking to school in kindergarten getting banged on.
Really?
I was
at such a young age.
First grade, but we used to walk together. We would stick. So the neighborhood repped each other. So our neighborhood, it was like 8 or 12 boys that would walk to school from elementary to middle school to high school. We could catch the bus, but we rather walk because we haven't seen each other all day, and we just woke up and we'd stop at the liquor stores. But I remember vividly getting banged on, having fights, having riots before the age of 10. We shut our middle school down with a riot, and we shut our high school down with riots, gang riots.
Mhm.
So, you know, and I was a part of that growing up, seeing it. My mother, you know, she was a good person, but she died of AIDS. So it was back then in the 80s and 90s of the crack era, the AIDS
How old
epidemic.
were you when that happened?
My mom died when I was about 10 years old,
Oh,
9 or
okay, 10
10.
years old.
Yeah. And I saw that at an early age. I saw her doing her shit. You know, people talk about the crack babies, but we are
Mhm.
them. You know, we came from that era. I was born in 82,
Yeah.
in 81. I'm 42 right now. But you know, I saw a lot of the crack cocaine era. I saw my mom in that situation. My mom, she used to live on Skid Row. And those who don't know Skid Row, that's a famous street where all the homeless people stay.
Mm.
And she used to come get us on the weekend. And my dad, he never not let us go with our mom. He wanted us to see the action. My
Yeah,
dad
yeah.
was very spiritual. Kenny, you met my dad.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Rory, you met my dad. He's
Yep.
you know, I love that man. Like, that's my best friend.
Good man,
Like,
yeah.
he's the reason why I'm here right now. I
Mm.
used to think he hated me, but he's the reason. But he let us go with our mom. He let us go and experience that lifestyle and let us choose.
Mhm.
And I didn't say I chose right, but you know, my mother passed away, so I didn't want to go that way. So the things my dad was teaching me, you know, I rebuked it. I didn't
Mhm.
want nothing to do with it. You know,
Yeah.
I want to be out here with my cousins, sister. Shout out to my sister, man. That's if you guys don't know, I am the uncle of TK47. So my sister is his mother. So if you guys don't know that, that's my nephew. He's doing 55 years in jail right now. He blew up really heavy. And if he was out right now, he'd be out with the probably NBA young boys. And we pray for him every night. Every
Yeah,
night.
he was big before
Yeah.
before all that
Yeah.
shit happened to
He
him.
was.
That's bugged up, man.
Yeah.
Elaborate a little bit on that. How's that situation going? Like, is he convicted, or
Yes.
is there a possibility of getting out?
Well, you know, the state of Texas is cruel on African American men. And my nephew, and I'm gonna speak freely about it. It might hurt a lot of people's feelings, but you know, they put him in jail when he was 15, 16 years old with grown men. And I don't know how you feel about it, but as a 40-year-old or late 30s, them kids need to be in juvenile hall with each other,
Yeah.
around other youngsters. So he got introduced in that jail life with grown men. I don't know if that was part of the punishment or you forgot about my nigga. Like, you forgot he was that old,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you don't do that. And that's
Yeah.
when you see my fierceness come out because I love him.
Mm.
And I'm sad that I didn't have no interaction to stop him from doing that. But what's crazy is he was gonna do it anyway, whatever he done.
Mm.
Right.
He's that person. You know why? Because he's a product of my sister. And if everybody asks me, like, JayR, like, you've been in some thick stuff. Who's the hardest person you ran into?
Mm.
And my dad used to tell me all the hardest niggas are dead or in jail.
Mm.
So I was like, my sister, like, I saw her at her top of her game. And if she was a dude, she'd be dead right now because she was with everything you with, plus more.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where I get my pedigree from. I get half of that from. She raised me. She beat
lived
me
that
up.
life, huh?
She lived that life.
Yeah.
I used to go look for her. She'd tell you right now. I go look for her. I go to Iraq, come back, Afghanistan, come back. Where my sister at? Can't hear. Couldn't find her. She'll pop up. I show up with guns
Mm.
at the drug house, pick her up. No lie. That's the type of brother I am.
Mm.
You know, I love my sister. Like, that's like my mom because my mother died when I was little. So my sister did the raising.
Yeah.
And we're 2 years apart. So what do you think I know? Everything. She taught me how to everything, everything in my life. Like, she means so much to me right now. We bicker because
Of
she's
course,
44, I'm
yeah.
42, but she got it. Sometimes I think in her head, she got to remember I'm not little no more.
Yeah.
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 You know what I'm saying? I really got to
But to her, you'll always be
her little brother.
brother, you
Yeah,
know?
she's
Yeah.
big sisters.
I think, man, when you're 15 years old, I can think of back when I'm 15 years old. Man, I didn't know anything.
Mhm.
I was a knucklehead, and not that my experience, you know, makes everyone's experience the same. But come on, there's not one person on this planet that can say, you know, I'm a lot. I'm full grown at 15, and I understand what I'm doing.
Right.
Man, you don't understand what you're doing at 15. You don't
Nah, you
understand
don't.
what you're actually doing to your life.
Nah, you putting plays together. Like, you really trying to make it work.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
at 15, I was already considered in my hood in North Long Beach a OG because I got put on my hood when I was in the 3rd grade, a Star King.
Yeah.
Like, so all my homies been banging with me since I was in elementary school.
Yeah.
These niggas are all 40 now. Some are dead or in jail, but some of them a lot of them are still alive, and we've been friends for 30-something years. Some of us got put on behind the building off of Atlantic in them apartments. Like the shit y'all hear LA niggas rap about, we live that life.
Yeah.
But I
versus
don't like try to influence it. That ain't me. Like I grew up, it's a part of me, but I educate the youth.
It wasn't a choice.
It was a choice.
You were
Yeah.
born into that
I was a
environment.
product of my environment. And a lot of people don't know too. On my mama's side of the family, my uncle's Ricky Harris, a famous comedian. So he used to come to North Long Beach and give me clothes and do certain things after my mama passed. You know, he ended up passing in 2015. I was downrange, you know. He died and that hurt me because, you know, he was a lot of connections to what I had going on with my life. Like I left the army. I left to the army in 2002 after I got out of county jail.
okay.
I did 27 days in county jail.
And how old was you when you went?
The army?
Yeah.
So I got out of jail at 19. I was in the army by 22 weeks later, July 24th, 2002. And I made a decision after the towers fell. You know, the towers fell. I was like, man, I can't do this no more. Like, and I had a little girl. Her name is Jaden. And me and her mom wasn't always on the same page. But I said, you know what? I got to do something to change this collision course that we all see in them urban areas. Like we only get taught certain things, how to rap, how to throw a ball, how to play baseball, basketball, how to be the hardest nigga, but them hard niggas are dead or in jail. So who are we following? And then it's scary because the people our age or above us don't want to talk about it because it don't sound cool.
Yeah. You
know? And
that's
if you have
absolutely right.
Yeah, and if you get your information up, these little niggas will listen to you. You feel me? They'll listen. If you really live that life, you know how many kids I mentor right now? And I'm freely to talk on this platform because we're built from the same cloth. You know, it's a lot of platforms I talk about and I talk on and I have to be informative and very educational. And that's understanding because I went and got my degree. Matter of fact, I got 3 of them. You know, I got a master's in business.
Talk to them.
So, you know, you can look at me like how I'm dressed right now, but then you understand from my intellectual content that you're not messing with a dumb person.
Right.
And that's what people don't understand is like, I'm a thinker. So whatever happens, I'm gonna make sure I try to have a game plan out this situation because we got to stay alive. You know, in my case that you guys saw me go through with Rat Pack, I was supposed to be dead. I put everything in Rat Pack. And I'm jumping questions, but I put everything. But going from that, the pedigree, I got that from California. You know, that's in me. You know, God, and people ask me, JayR, would you want to be raised somewhere else? No.
Nah, because that's why you built the way you are.
That's me. I'm from Long Beach. I'm from North Long Beach. I rep it. I'm from Los Angeles. I wear my LA hats. Everywhere I go, I try to make a statement, and it's very intentional.
Yeah.
Because no matter what, right now I'm in my school for my doctorate degree. 2027, I'll be done.
Yo, hats off to you, man. That's amazing.
But I'll be Dr. McIntyre, and I'm not changing who I am.
That's
and
amazing.
never waver.
And you shouldn't. Shouldn't. Absolutely not.
Right.
That's the only way you got to where you at.
Right.
That's the only way. That's the only way you make it. Is if you stay true to yourself and you just keep on pushing. There's gonna be so many people that are trying to take you off the track. So many, your friends, enemies, family. You just got to keep on going. If not, you're never gonna get to your destination.
The negativity is always gonna be there. There's always gonna be bridges that you cross, bro, and fucking traps that you got to go through. And I believe that it's how you're raised and how you perform and how you go through them.
Right.
You know, like,
Right.
and how your experiences, look at where you were brought up at and look at where you are now.
Right.
So successful.
I think it's about character too.
Absolutely.
And I tell these
100%.
young kids, like, you can have all the talent as Michael Jordan or Floyd Mayweather, and you can get to where that big money is at. And this message is, you know who I'm talking to. You can get to how big you want to get, but character is going to keep you in the room, son. So if you fail at everything you do and you lose, what's going to keep you there? Because now you're not the hottest thing at. And I try to tell these kids that. And they want success overnight like it's microwavable.
Yeah.
Not really good for us to eat microwavable food.
Absolutely not.
You know, and they don't understand that. And when you talk like that, they call you lame.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
It's almost like they brush it off.
Right, they brush it off like you.
Like
You
you don't
old
know what
school.
you're talking about.
Yeah, like you old school. Like I'm not still doing this.
That's the young mentality.
Right. Right.
That's the young
That's an ignorant mentality, man.
Right.
Because
It's
there's
the
grown
young
ass men that
mentality.
think the same way.
Right. No.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was crazy. Your age don't even make you grown. It's maturity. And I feel like I was mature at a young age. I saw a lot. I chose to go into the army. I left
What age were you when you joined the military?
was-
What was the reason that you joined the military? It just
He
happened.
said he joined the twin,
Yeah.
the one, the twin
Oh, 'cause the
towers,
one that
though.
Twin Towers.
Yeah,
Well, you know, when we sitting there in the
which
hood,
is extremely
Yeah.
heroic. I don't
Yeah,
even
yeah.
know if you understand how heroic something like
Yeah,
that is.
That shit was crazy.
When someone says something like that, because I can tell you, I was in, I believe, 4th grade in
Right.
art class. I can remember where I was. Right,
I
I
feel
was a
old.
kid.
Yeah.
I was a
I was in
child,
high school when that
Yeah.
shit.
right? And even though you went at 20, you were still very young.
Yeah.
That's a very young age to go into fight for your country. But when something like that devastating happens, you know, there's only a certain kind of, there's only a certain kind of man that is gonna go out and do something like that. You know,
Right.
put their
One-
life on the line to protect others.
One thing is just to join the military, right? Another thing is to join and go straight to war.
Yeah, definitely. And people
And
don't,
that's what you did.
they don't see that though, because it's like the question you just asked me, like, what made you? And I remember that day vividly when the towers fell and my little girl was in my arms. I think her mom had went to work. I was a bum. I wasn't doing anything with my life. I was following the same footsteps as a lot of people I knew. I was hustling, trying to go to school, out there with all the bullshit, and I wasn't being a good father. And when the towers fell, God was like, "That's for you," and I'm like, "Hold on, like what's for me? Like time to go fight." My dad put all this in me. It's time to go show up.
Yeah.
And people in the hood in Long Beach was like, "Don't go. You don't need to go. That ain't your war." And I'm like, "I'm a warrior. I need to go." I was scared. And that was the only way I saw how to provide for my daughter. Her name is Jaden. Beautiful girl, ambitious. My mom did an excellent job with her.
Shout out to Jaden. I met her.
Yeah, she that's my baby. It's like looking in a mirror. I love her. Like
Yeah, that's your twin, right?
that's
there,
my
bro.
twin, yes. I'm happy to be a father to all my kids. But Jaden, like she came at that moment of time where I was at the crossroads. Become a man or become a man this way.
See,
And I'd rather go get stripes, fight for my country, and getting the benefit of what I'm doing right now, going to school and they paying for my education, than repping something back there that ain't gonna give it to you. Yeah, you got the hood stripes, but you don't got the benefits. You can't go get a house. You can't go get your education. You can't take care of your family. Like I did, and I didn't know I was going over there to get injured, but I did my thing over there. And I did it with the best of my ability. And that's what a lot of kids don't understand. I've been a warrior.
so
It's hard.
what was that? What was that like going into boot camp? You know, for the first time. You know, 20 years old. What's that?
Because you're at your rebellious stage.
Yeah.
Right.
You going in there, you're not disciplined at
No,
all.
no.
You just jumped in there.
Yeah, especially from that environment
Yeah.
where you really have to fend for yourself.
That's crazy how you ask that because
It's just intriguing to me.
we turned basic training to county.
Mm.
Like it was a bunch of misfits on day 0. And I think the day that we missed to go into starting training or like admin, it was raining. So they kept us in the barracks. And guess what we did? 100 dudes. Guess what we did? Just guess.
Started fighting.
We set up a three level slap boxing championship in the barracks. 100 dudes, 3 bouts. One over here between these 3 beds, one between these 3 beds, and one in the back.
Slugging,
slap boxing. And then people are telling who the winner and the levels are going up. And my dumb ass made it to the championship. Yeah. I made it to the championship. And I remember vividly I had to fight this dude. He was like 6'2". And I'm little. I'm not little, but I'm littler than 6 foot. I'm like 5'9", you know. But if guys, y'all know me, I got a big heart, so don't trip. But he was like 6 foot and he was good. He was a southpaw. And I've been good at boxing. My uncle, shout out to Pete McIntyre. He's a world champion boxer. He's 71 years old. He was around the Ali days. So if you look him up, Pete McIntyre.
Shout out to him.
He showed me how to fight, and my dad hated it because once he showed me when I was about 4 or 5, just a simple like, and not to deviate from the conversation, but people think fighting is just entanglement. He taught me how to play chess when I was 5 years old. So imagine my thinking capacity when I'm against these kids that are street fighters. And he taught me a simple left, right, jab. It ain't coming from here or here. It's here. This is your shooting space.
stay in control.
Boom. He's grooming me to become a warrior, a fighter. So I protect myself when I'm at school. And amazingly, I became really good at it. And then he showed me the chess part of it, and I became really excellent at thinking and being calm. A fighter is calm. If that
Yeah.
raw shit, that shit don't work. Like,
Mm-mm.
be calm. The smartest and the toughest man in the room is the one with his mouth shut.
Absolutely.
He's a thinker. And
100%.
Kenny hired me. Who you
Mhm.
think he gonna hire other than him to be the better man? Because he's a thinker. Am I right?
Mhm.
I see him.
100%.
I see him in deep thought all day. Rory, a thinker. Who makes them beats? He's Michelangelo. You're Michelangelo when you make the beats.
Yeah.
So you guys are intelligent people. So who you gonna get to protect your body? Someone that you trust professionally.
Mhm.
And that's when our relationship started heavier. I
Mhm.
remember back in 18, Kenny came to me. He was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go get some haircuts to some underprivileged kids." And I was like, "I'm rolling with you. Let's go."
I
So he
remember
go
that.
set up shop, cut their hair, humble. Don't charge them. I help
Mhm.
Kenny clean up whatever he needed.
These were all trouble kids, bro. We
Trouble
went
kids.
over there, cut their hairs for free, bro. JR was there. I didn't even know JR like that, bro, but he really rolled with me. Taking videos, he was taking pictures, he was talking to this kid, bro. He was like a guidance counselor at the moment for these kids, bro. It was crazy. It was a hell of an experience, bro.
Hella.
And those people to this day, bro, they don't forget that. They don't forget that. They really appreciate it. I believe that we made an impact.
That's love.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that was from our heart. This wasn't paid. And
Mhm.
these are a lot of things that people need to talk about, is the events that you do from your heart.
Mhm.
You know, and that could be a double-edged sword, because a good heart don't pay bills. So you can do something expecting you from someone else, and you don't get that love back.
Yeah.
And with me and you, it's always been love.
Mhm.
Like, even when Kenny popped open his phone and saw the dissecting of my company, and it hurt me because I couldn't look at him in the face, because I couldn't explain what just happened.
Mhm.
Because social media is so powerful.
Yeah, bro.
Because once a rumor gets spread, I don't care if the president's sending you a face, you did it.
Mhm.
You did it. And I take them lumps because I was able to be ridiculed and humiliated online and come back and get haircuts. I used to get them every 2 weeks.
Mhm.
It went from that to, because I was broke, every 3 months. Kenny would see me. And then sometimes, and I'll be honest, because I'm so slow, so organic, it would take me 3 weeks to pay Kenny. And he
Mhm.
would never say anything. Like, "Jay, you got me? I got you." Boom. Because he know I'm solid. I
Mhm.
was going through something. I
Yeah.
lost everything. I didn't have no money. But Kenny still kept me looking fresh like I had money. And that's why I love you.
I
And I'm
appreciate
able to
that.
say that on his platform, because he don't know me from nowhere.
Mhm.
I'm from California, from Florida. He Puerto Rican. My family's from Jamaica.
Mhm.
I fuck with Kenny heavy. Kenny called me, I'm up.
I appreciate
Rory called me, I'm up. Like, we talk about it later. I don't care if you did it.
Mhm.
And that's your cousin. I don't care if he did it. I'm here. Let's wipe it off, clean it up. We talk about it later. You know what I'm saying? Kenny knew I was solid when we went to a situation and he had a lot of cash
Mhm.
and he left it behind.
Mhm.
And I gave it to him the next morning. "Hey, bro." And he didn't even remember. Right?
Yeah.
We ain't gonna speak about that, because like, I do things for him where, like, that's our private life. And it's not saying it's negative.
Mhm.
We was just in situations where he got to go have fun.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And I gave it back to him. He looked at me like, this is yours, right? It ain't
Right.
mine. You ain't paying me 15 grand.
I appreciate all
You know?
that love, bro.
Yeah.
Absolutely, bro.
So,
I really do.
yeah.
That's all love, bro.
And this is what that podcast is really about, is just, I'm showing love and y'all showing love to me. Y'all platform is huge.
Mhm.
Jose, shout out to Jose. Like, y'all
Mhm.
collected with a juggernaut.
Yeah. Jose,
Jose, like,
Willie, shout out to my boy. That's
yeah.
my partner. We run 3 businesses together, man.
Yeah.
This guy's a serial entrepreneur. And he's gonna be on an episode with us, man. And
Yeah.
Very
shout
soon,
out to
very
my boy.
soon.
That's
Yes,
my
sir.
brother.
Shout out to
Definitely.
Jose.
Yeah, shout out to Jose. And, he knows we haven't connected in a while, but I fuck with him heavy.
Never mind.
I love the boy. That dude is an entrepreneur for real, for real. Like, I'm in that entrepreneur, and I've been to school for it and all that, but he got it natural.
Mm.
Like, people see me like, "JayR, you do a lot of things. I got to learn this." He natural.
Mhm.
I'm not sitting on my soapbox, but I'm giving him his flowers now.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we went through a situation in December where we didn't know if we were going to keep cuz. Like, and I'm not going to even speak about that.
Yeah.
But I was the first one on the phone, right?
That's
That's emotional, right?
Mhm.
I was like, wow, like, you can't take life for granted. But I prayed for him. I sat in the sidelines licking my wounds. But if he needed me, I was going to be right there.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Kenny knew, because I was bugging
Yeah.
Kenny, telling myself what's up, telling myself what's up. Kenny was like, "Jay, I got you." Because Kenny calm. I don't see Kenny getting upset.
Mhm.
And if you do, then I'm upset. Yeah. So
100%, man. So let's take it back a little bit, man. On I want to talk about your rankings in the military, bro, because I know you wasn't low ranking, bro. You
Yeah.
really earned your stripes.
yeah,
But let's dig into a little bit, bro, because you went to war
yeah,
and you seen some shit.
yeah,
I know you did,
yeah,
and you saved people.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about that a little bit, man. Give us share your experience.
Yeah, that's what we're
I-
here for.
I
to-
think it's to show the character,
Yeah,
Mhm.
right? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not saving nobody.
Mm.
I'm not going in.
Even people that say that they would,
Rambo-ing.
until you're put in that position, bro. Come on, man.
I ain't doing it. I'm not going. I'm not.
It's a
helping.
different breed, bro. You got to be a different breed to
I'm
do something
grabbing
like
mines and I'm out.
that.
Go ahead.
nah.
Oh,
I mean,
shit.
it's shout out to the heroes that came before me, and some of the ones I'm personally touched. Shout out to Josh Brooks. He passed away. That was my mentor in the military. Um, he was a first sergeant, 13 Fox.
Good
like
dude, too,
me.
man.
Good dude.
I had a chance to meet him, bro. Yeah, good people.
Yeah,
That's sad.
yeah. PTSD, unfortunately,
It's a real thing.
took over his life. And
Mhm.
that hurt me because I lost one of my mentors while I was going through my hardest time. But being in the military, just to break it down, because I think that platform should be talked about the whole show. But I
Mhm.
did 55 months in combat, and we ain't sit behind no desk. We got our ass kicked, and we kicked ass.
Mhm.
And I went from the point from where 03, 04, driving from Kuwait to Iraq with no sandbags at our feet, driving past broken down, burnt down, bullet wound Humvees, tanks, Bradleys, fallen guys, and getting to our situation. It was like chalks. We was leaving Kuwait simultaneously and driving with sandbags at our feet. What is that going to do? And I'm a kid, and leaving that chalk, I didn't even.
When you say sandbags on your feet, what do you mean by that?
They put actual sandbags at our feet because they thought that was going to
Blow
stop
Yeah.
improvised devices blowing up like
Oh.
mines. It didn't. Think about it. A sandbag under your truck, your Ford F-150. Like
I got
that's not.
T-Rex, dog.
Yeah.
Hey, don't
Play out
can't-
my
don't-
No,
Hey, come on.
no.
Hey, we on different levels now, dog.
No. I was saying your
F-150
truck.
was
Yeah,
back in the day.
your truck. I don't know what it is, but it's dope. But I'm just saying, like the random truck, like
No,
a
no,
random,
I know. I'm just
like a random truck. Like what came to my head is because I always see them as like a random truck. Because he shout out to Kenny, he got the top. Like that truck is Transformer. You got to see it in the back. Nari, you got to see it in the back. But yeah, shout out to Nari. Nari about to get this huge truck too. So he put me on my truck game. I got a little truck Ranger. I got a baby.
yeah, yeah.
But imagine sandbags at your feet,
Mm.
driving in the world's scariest territory, hoping that you don't get blown up or shot at with no doors. Because we didn't have the equipment when we got there. We was just told to get there. And when we got there, we had to build our own equipment. Shout out to Nari again. I was a carpenter for a long time. I forgot. I made some doors and I made some windows and stuff like that to hook on to like the A-team to the Humvee. And we prayed. We prayed that we get there, and we got there. And I did that to Iraq 3 times. So I did a 12-month, I did a 15-month, and I did a 9-month rotation in Iraq. We fought with the best of them.
Mm.
I lost a lot of heroes. Like Memorial Day is for everybody that's regular.
Mm.
Memorial Day is for me every day.
Yeah.
Like, no, shout out to them, to men and women that I get emotional because they fought hard for the country that nobody loves.
Mm.
You feel me? Like we here as one, but how are we fighting for a country that nobody loves and the country don't love us? Right? So imagine me as an African-American boy putting on that flag on the right side of my uniform and coming back and being ridiculed by the hood and the homies. And then in the military, some of the other ethnicities didn't even like that you was ranking up. So it was war on the outside, it was war on the inside, and then it was war mentally. So you just tried to stay alive, physically, mentally, and try to do what you got to do. Like, shout out to the Army. It saved my life because I would have been dead or in jail, gang banging or doing something stupid or being caught up in situations where I'm not supposed to be there, following. I'm always a leader, but just leading shit like that.
Right.
So shout out to the Army. The Army is not a bad situation, but I went at a time where we was thumping, thumping. Like every rotation, we lost thousands, hundreds, 2 and 3 from every battalion, from every company. People that me and Rory, we go down 6 months later, Rory not here, we're Rory. In your mind, you think Rory's probably on vacation. But 2 years go by, Rory still ain't show back up. Rory not here. So my head was crazy. And I had to deal with that. Now, add that to childhood trauma.
Yeah.
Right? So it count the traumas through this podcast because we went through one level with my childhood with a lot.
Which is enough.
And now we go through the military.
Another trauma.
Yeah. And then everybody talk about like, JayR, like what's your PTSD moment? Like I had several moments where I thought that I was dead.
And it's hard to explain it because, I mean, people with PTSD don't even like talking about why they got it.
Don't bother me with that. But at the end of the day, it's like.
They don't like to be reminded. And I'm sure you're constantly reminded.
I am. And I'm alerted. When you told me I'm coming, I'm like, damn, like, is the doors locked? Like, what I got to do? Not because I'm tripping, but I'm really tripping.
Yeah.
I'm really here because I got to make sure y'all are okay. Like, no matter what, Kenny is my client and I'm his. We're friends, we family, but on a professional level, he cut my hair, he sell me stuff. And on a professional level, if anybody come in here with that nonsense, I'm doing my job. He'll pay me later.
That's 100.
And that's how I am. And it's no questions asked. We're gonna get jiggy with it and we'll talk about it later. Like, why you put me in that? But we might laugh.
We might not even talk about it.
Yeah, it is what it is. I look at him, we out. We gone. It is what it is. We have some barbecue later. But yeah, man, I went through a lot. I earned a Bronze Star in the military. A lot of people's like, oh, that's a heavy award, but I saw a lot of guys die that had that award. Shout out to Curtis Wooten. That was my best friend. He passed away 2 weeks before we left Iraq the first time. I lost a lot of guys that tour, but he was the one that I wear on my wrist that I can never forget because he was like us. Like we knew each other's family. I know, like I came in the barbershop. What did I do, Kenny? I walk right past you. What I do? I give your wife a hug. She knows me. She seen me in public. JayR. She know when she in there, ain't nobody messing with her. When the girls see me, they know that's Dad's friend. They know where I'm around. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing to him.
Right.
Shout out to his family. Rory knows the same thing. We in a situation, put your feet up. I got it. Go ahead and smoke. I'm watching everything.
Yes, sir.
And that's just how God made me. I'm a warrior at heart. Like when I was little, I thought I was Batman. I thought that I was a philanthropist. And at night, I would put on a cape and go do some shit to save the world. And I did it. And I did it at my best ability. It didn't happen the way everybody else thought it would happen, but I'm still here. And the reason why I go so hard is for them gentlemen and women that lost their life in Iraq and Afghanistan and continue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not scared to say that. Like the people that are with me, and I'm in a situation where it's not a lot of Black people around. They're going to respect me for my veteran, my status. They're going to see what's on the back of my car. They're going to say Iraq veteran, Bronze Star, because I put that shit on my car. So people can know, hey, I did something with my life. How you going to discredit someone who did shit like that? Right? You can't. And I represent for the guys that are not here no more.
The people that don't fully understand the military and what it actually represents. It's almost we're programmed to see things like that and automatically respect it, right? I feel like you have to.
Right.
Even though there might be those that don't, but I mean, me, and I could probably speak for a lot of people, bro. When I see people like you, bro, and people that really been through it and gone through that experience, bro, I mean, bro, I'm humbled before you, bro, in reality, because I know that you did something for me.
Right.
You know, not just for the country, but I feel like you did something for me, bro.
Right. And I appreciate it because that's all I ever wanted to do is be there for the people. And you can tell in my character, you know, that I help no matter what I can do. And I would never stop. Yeah, I went through some hardships, but I'm still here. And I thank God I'm still here, you know. And everything I manifest is with action. Because me even being in front of this mic with you guys, it's a blessing to be there, be here with you. I saw y'all journey too. I saw it. And I'm happy. Most people be like, they jealous. I'm happy. 30 borrowers, yeah, I'm with y'all. I'm cheering. Whatever it is. Kenny tell me, hey, JayR, I need you to do, I'm here. Play my role, right? I play my role. And Kenny know, like at the top of my game, I know where I sit at.
Always, always.
And that's it. When it's time to be entrepreneur, we talk business. When it's time to bodyguard, we talk bodyguard. When it's time for family, come to my house, have a drink, come see my kids. When it's time to get a cut, shut up, sit down, let me cut your hair. You don't want to talk too much. You don't want to talk too much. You want to get it done. He bought his money. I say 2 or 3 things. I already have them selected out before I get here. I ask him, and that's it. He knows. And then he hates when I try to sit up. So, JayR, chill out. So, that's my boy, man. I love
JayR is always on guard. That's why.
always.
Yo, I'm lacing JayR up, bro. I could be spraying him with enhancements. And he's always poking up, just looking around like, oh, we good, dog. We good.
Nah, man, because
Let me lace you.
no, Kenny like
second you turn around for your razor.
yeah.
I grab my razor, he's already up like, oh.
Nah, man, because I see on YouTube, and shout out to YouTube, people be, but when you're at the barber, you at your vulnerable spot.
Yeah, that's the truth.
I know Kenny got my back. I know you too. I know y'all not gonna let nobody come in here and catch me off guard.
Nah, that's a true story. That shit happens.
Right? So,
Barbershops are actually known
oh
for
no, always.
crazy
Yeah.
shit like
Your op will catch you. Like I don't understand that word, but the enemy will catch you. And I try to catch you slipping. And I think here and a man sitting on the toilet is one of the most vulnerable spots.
That's true.
Because you're unguarded, right? You're getting cut.
That'd be
Like this is like I'm explaining my barbershop experience. You leave here with a fresh cut and confidence. And if your barber ain't leaving you with 100 confidence, like I float out of here. I don't know how I get out of here sometime. Kenny has to wake me up. I'm that comfortable because I got a new face. Like my beard is popping right now because of Kenny. And if you ain't getting your beard done right, you better someone come to
better come to Groomsmen, baby.
Groomsmen, for real.
Groomsmen, home to 21 barbers.
Yeah.
With another shop coming, another 22 barbers coming, baby.
Look at
we
that.
Strong. We're not playing.
Look at that. Easy.
We're not playing.
Yeah. Look at that.
And then another one.
And he's so like you gentlemen are so humble and don't get it to point to where people say it and it kind of feels like disrespect. No, I'm giving y'all flowers now.
Appreciate it.
Like I love y'all. Y'all good with me. Like whatever. We figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate it. And that's why I'm here.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
So let's get into Rat Pack. I know you started this company from the ground up.
Right.
Because I seen you do it.
Right.
And bro, you murdered the game with the worldwide security.
Right.
And I know you went through a lot of trials.
Right.
Even since day one, but that's how it is when you're in business. I mean, all entrepreneurs know that when you open up a business, man, it's never a green light and let's go to the top. It's never like that. You definitely went through some hills.
Right.
And talk to us about that, bro.
Well, first of all, let me talk about entrepreneurship. And I think that entrepreneurship is one of the scariest things that a man or a woman can do, to put themselves out there and start a business and be vulnerable, especially in this day and age, because everything is highlighted. Everything's on TV, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Everybody wants to just see it.
Everybody wants to see it. And now this is a time where you see the message, but you don't even feel it no more. You see it and you go with it. You go with the see rumors. Oh, I saw. Oh,
Ain't that some shit?
Ain't that some shit? Like, right? Like, so that's the era of entrepreneurship. And it feels like going through a haunted house and you don't know what's around the next corner. So Kenny saw me from the bottom up, and Rat Pack originated with me and Remy. Shout out to Remy. Remy's actually in a undisclosed place getting his doctor's degree. And he is one of the smartest dudes I know. He's like Professor X.
Yeah.
Shout out to Remy, like hella intelligent. You met Remy before, like y'all know who he is. Yeah,
cool dude, down to earth.
He's getting his doctorate. Me and him started Rat Pack in Arecibo, Puerto Rico, when the hurricane kicked off. They sent us over there to protect Arecibo.
I remember when you went over there, bro. Shit, you see some crazy shit there.
Yeah, they was going to war out there. Like
no light in the whole island, bro.
Bro, they was stealing gas from the cars, taking boxes from.
They weren't even delivering food.
No, it was crazy.
And they paper towels.
Bro, we got there, it was dark. We was dark. Like when I saw actually Puerto Rico, Arecibo reminded me so much of to create Iraq. It was like the infrastructure was
crazy like that, huh?
The infrastructure was Flintstone. Like there was no like power poles and
Puerto Rico needs help.
That part of the island is pretty, but it's like we living in the 1920s still.
Yeah.
It was uncharted. Like, but it had like historical stuff, you feel me? But it was when we went there, trees,
power lines
down. down,
flooding everywhere.
down. Like it was crazy. It was the Twilight Zone.
I remember you posted a picture. You guys were trying to save. I believe it was an infant.
Yes.
It was a baby, bro. You
Yeah.
posted I don't know if it was a picture
was a picture.
or a video,
Yeah.
and it was Remy
Yeah.
trying to save this baby's life.
So we was driving on our way. So we would run our missions to go get our equipment from Arecibo to San Juan.
Mhm.
And if you guys are familiar with that, I think that's about a 2.5-hour drive, almost 3-hour drive. And it's not like driving from here to Miami. These routes is different.
Yeah.
It's different, right?
Hills and
Yeah.
everything.
And then we drove, and on the side of the road, you see this lady, Spanish lady, waving people down.
Trying to get help.
So we stopped, and it was a baby that was choking and was turning purple. And to fast forward that story, Ranger Remy saved that baby's life.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
He's a medic in the Ranger,
Mm-hmm.
in the 13 Fox. That guy's amazing. Like you say, okay, JayR, you like no Remy, that's my brother. Like
Right place, right
that's
time.
my family.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's amazing, bro.
Yeah, he we provided security and we told everybody to back up. And since he had the expertise in medic, which he did do that, he was a Marine medic, and he went to become an Army Ranger, 13 Fox, like me. He saved that baby life. And that was our first day there.
That's fucking dope, bro.
Hey, but look, we came into Puerto Rico like the Expendables. There was no license like we was tacked up. People at the airport was tripping.
How'd you guys go over there? This was like a government contract?
Nah.
You guys weren't hired by no company? You guys
got hired by a security company to provide security for the electrical plants in Arecibo. This was not.
So y'all did this like out of, this wasn't even your job description. No, y'all just did it because you knew how to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, people were dying right in front of your face.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got,
This was A-team stuff. Like we really this was outside of the military. We tacked up, got off the plane, and I think Nico, he was a Ranger too. He was like, suit up. We suited up. I led the mission, but I'm like, all right, we suiting up. So we walking through the airport, vest up, ready, past the diesel trucks, because everybody know around that time, the diesels was always at the airport, the 40-footers or the 60-footers to pick up all equipment and take it places and stuff like that. So we got our car, our rental car, janky security company, and we went to Arecibo. And we slept on the floor like we was in Iraq again.
How long were you guys there?
52 days.
52 days sleeping on the floor.
We had to go commandeer a hotel that was historical around that town and beg them to let us sleep in a conference room on the floor. I got pictures. Like everything I say, like you can fact check that. This ain't no like I'm trying to make streaming go up. Like I'm really telling a really good story.
You know what we could do is actually, bro, you could send us these videos.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you these pictures and everything you ask me, I'm gonna send
them in. Yeah, you should send, brother. I think this is important. I think it's good for the people to know like how real shit was when that hurricane hit.
No, that hurricane,
because everybody hears about it, but they don't, the news ain't gonna show the crazy shit. They'll show floodings and how many people died, but they're not really in there.
Bro, the security company forgot about us over there. And we didn't get paid. So we did 46, 56 days. We didn't get paid till 3 months after that.
Wow.
So this is my introduction to security outside the military, outside government contract, because I did that. You know, I was with Triple Canopy. I was with a lot of them companies. I went through whips. Everybody who know I'm saying whips 1 and 2, they know that. I went through that. So this was something that Remy was Puerto Rican. He felt in his heart. They asked him, do you have guys? He called me. We round the guys up. We got flights. We planned. We proceeded, and we did the mission just like we was in the military, like we was taught. And we got shamed for that too.
Wow.
You know why? Because we did it at the best of our ability. And what people don't understand is, and y'all quote me on this, a lot of the people in that situation, they were shady. They was shipping equipment to San Juan and they wasn't giving it to the people.
Yeah.
Then you got the people getting it and they wasn't distributing it. And guess who saw that?
Yeah, y'all had firsthand seeing that.
And I wasn't with FEMA.
It's because they was getting paid. They was getting the money. So obviously they'll use the money to order all this food and equipment that they needed to actually help people, but they never put the rest of the money to hire people to provide it.
No.
They
And they
never
kept it for themselves.
provided. They never provided the help for these people, bro.
No.
All this shit, bro. This is you could research this: water, food,
Yeah, everything. So they ordered all
medical
this stuff
help.
and it
All
looked
this
right.
just stayed in the fucking warehouses.
No, so what it is propaganda. We need, we send, but the resources don't get used. Because guess what? I'm gonna send it to Tom over there, and Tom don't think the city should get it right now. And then I got to talk to who hired me. So we gonna divvy it up between our families, and if we fight over it, it's just gonna sit here on the flight plan. And they found that stuff 6 months, 9 months after the hurricane, fresh, sitting in connexes. We passed them on the flight line. I knew it was there.
That's not.
But you telling me like we got to fight for our own sleeping situation, food, gas, water. It was crazy, and nobody really even asked us about what happened.
You guys were out there helping with no help.
Yeah.
And listen to me. We started to pack our stuff and leave because we was done. They wasn't sending. They wasn't paying us, and we left. And Remy was the last person to leave, but I was the second to last. And I didn't go back home through San Juan to Miami. I went through the Virgin Island, and I came back down. And then, like, I was coming in as a convict, but I had weapons, and this was the only way how they was gonna get my weapons in and out.
Yeah, yeah.
Without, because I didn't have no license with FEMA. But y'all sent us there. But I didn't know the logistics. Like, okay, hey, we ready? We this is Hull. And so some army stuff, let's go get it done. Not knowing the politics that played in it.
Right, right.
And how they was gonna pay us, even if they got the contract, right? So it was crazy. But
and you did all this while still maintaining Rat Pack Security, the company.
That's how Rat Pack was built. We said the security industry ain't gonna do this to nobody else. We're gonna create our own. And we created our own LLC, Rat Pack Worldwide Security, 5 of us, and we took off.
You guys, bro, you had a hell of a company too, bro. I remember going to your establishment.
Yeah.
And bro, you had front desk receptionist, bro. This shit was official. That shit was legit. Oh, we went to the grand opening. You came with me. That shit was fire, bro. You had fucking classes. You were teaching people how to operate,
weapons,
situational
awareness. Bro, it breaks my heart that I lost all that. But what's crazy is, and we can get back to the building and Rat Pack, but people didn't know that building Rat Pack was also killing me from the very get-go, because I'm not okay in my head sometimes, because I've been through some things. But I knew I wanted to start a company, not for JayR, to help people out because the industry needed it. And, again, when y'all walked in my building, that was dedicated to the fallen soldiers. So imagine who I was trying to put this together for, and I needed to get it right. But God told me, JayR, like I prayed for a lot of these things that come out of my life. I prayed. I was in heavy prayer for about a couple of years before the bankruptcy and the downfall of Rat Pack.
What happened though?
Before that, God was like, when we tore it down and I got frauded and my employees started to leave and I started to lose my company, lose grip on it. God was like, JayR, you went a long way, but you went the wrong way. And it stuck with me because I lost everything. Even everything I put in my storage today, April 2022 was the last day I was in my building. And they put my stuff in the storage. And that was the last day I ever saw the logos, the T-shirts.
You got a lot of employees too. How many employees did you have?
I had about 300 1099 and 50 W-2. I had a huge company.
I remember, bro.
Yeah.
I remember.
I did a lot for my people. And during COVID, when nobody was working, I let people work that had felonies, that was faltered on child support.
People that didn't
have the
they couldn't get opportunities.
Yes.
And you gave them that
I gave them that. And then for the Super Bowl, my company paid for 250 licenses.
You did. You secured the whole
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
we-
This
we-
was when the Bucks won, right?
Yeah, we secured Tampa Super Bowl.
That was huge.
LA. Yes.
That was huge. I
Yes.
remember when you did that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We wasn't on small security. We did Rolling Loud.
Nah,
too.
y'all was
Yeah.
big boys.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
I mean, you still are, but unfortunately, with this company, bro, it just went south, and that's fucking, it's nuts, bro.
Right. It was a lot of things
Yeah.
that contribute to that, though.
Mhm.
Before it was like the company you keep.
Do you feel like it was multiple situations that led there?
Yes.
It was.
Yes. And here's the ticker that from the beginning, if it wasn't me, Remy, and a few selective fews, it would have been done.
Y'all were
First year,
praying for it.
we fought for it every
Mhm.
year. Remy warned me every year
Mhm.
about the people around me. But JayR, with his good heart, he gonna hire people that don't have the experience. But I love your energy. That energy got to match that experience now. I'm in the point where in my life where if you can't sell me no Mercedes if you never drove one.
Mm.
But I was letting people work for me
That's 100% facts.
that
bro.
had potential,
Mhm.
but not the credentials.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Like I
100%.
like think about that. I'm letting you work for me that you telling me a good game, but
Yeah.
you didn't. Kenny, you ain't gonna hire no barber if he ain't show you his work,
Mm-mm.
right? Rory, you ain't gonna bring nobody. You ain't gonna vouch and say, "Hey, put him in chair 7. He dope."
They got to
About his
show it.
guts.
They got to show it. They could talk it all
Yeah.
day. It's easy to
Yeah.
talk it. You know, you got a good game. You know how to talk. It's
Right.
easy.
Easy.
It's easy. That's the easiest thing. But I want you to show me.
Exactly.
Come in here, do a demo.
Right.
Let me interview you. Let me see how you talk. Represent yourself.
Come on, man. Look,
Show me who you
talking,
are.
Preach. Like
Mhm.
I walked in here today and Kenny had a battle with no people in here. Like, how you have a battle and niggas is here sweating,
Mhm.
trying to cut a fade?
Yeah.
I would have gave up the first 10 minutes. Like, I can't do this. No, but that's the type of intensity you want in your business. And
Yeah.
I didn't have that. I had the people I liked and I wanted to make it work. But we was growing so fast that I didn't need them people. I needed some people that I didn't know that was gonna get the job done, that was heavily qualified. In business now, ain't no, hey, my boy can do it. Show me. Like, I'm tired of vouching for people who can't do the job who told me they can. And when the building crumbles, it's all on the owner,
Oh, 100%.
right? Like everybody get the raw. Kenny, you saw it. When Rat Pack was at his height, everybody talking about it. They wearing my stickers, my t-shirts. When Rat Pack started
Bro,
to crumble,
you're
it was just JayR.
You're doing security for celebrities. We're talking about big celebrities.
Yeah.
Right.
Mention these people that you do security for, man, so the people can know.
Man,
I want people to know who you are because you're not.
Right. I've been
not
around for a
doing this
while.
shit.
Yeah, definitely. I've been doing my mentor, shout out to Shadow. He passed away of a heart attack right before my company started to take his plunge. He was my mentor in the game. So he was the best security executive protection agent I saw that was urban. The second one is Byron Rogers. Like, he's hands down. We haven't spoken in a while. Somebody tried to ruin our relationship, but he's the best executive protection agent around. Really skillful, understanding, taught me a lot of soft skills, and I developed my JayR. I developed who I was, and I was the best at who I was. And I did it for Polo G, the baby, Lil Baby. My team did it for Kanye. And when he was in, I think he was in, what was that?
You did Spanish artists too.
I did a lot of Spanish artists. I did a lot of people. I did all the Rolling Loud. So that was every artist that was coming in. We had the whole show shut down. I think that was year 2021. We did Rolling Loud. I did Super Bowl Tampa Bay. I did Super Bowl LA Rams. I did so many celebrities, and I still do.
Mhm.
And what's crazy is a lot of these bodyguards that are protecting these famous celebrities, they
Mhm.
came from my tree.
A lot of them did.
They came from
I
my
know a
tree.
lot of them that did.
You
I know-
can't, and I
know a lot
got
of
pictures.
them did, yeah.
I taught them soft skills. I taught them, like, shout out to Jake. Like, we haven't spoke because there was a little beef, but that guy is hands down. He's like one of the, it was like, some people can go to school for it or be in the military or even a police officer, but he was talented without none of that. And I think that he was doing Lil Baby last time I spoke to him. And then I saw him and his team with
And you plugged them.
Little Uzi Vert. Yeah, I plugged them all. I put them all in there. Like, Jake did his first mission with me when we did it with Young and Ace. I was with Young and Ace at the height of is that song with him and Fulio. They was killing each other in Jacksonville. That crazy, like, go back and look at Google. Look at Jacksonville War. I had Young and Ace after Shadow gave them to me. He said, hey, I'm moving on to Jake Paul. So Shadow was with Jake Paul before he died. That's my mentor. And if those know who saw me the other day, I walked out with Jake Paul's artist. I mean, his boxer from Long Beach. Shout out to Ashton and his dad, Ivan, Jackrabbit Jim.
You did say you was moving Dean the Great,
Yeah, I moved that kid, man.
and you was managing him too, right?
Yeah, I went from securing him to managing him.
Shout out to Dean the Great too, by the way, man. This dude's up and coming, bro. Man, respect to him.
Yeah, I was managing him and going from there in that situation, and it wasn't on paper. And I a lot of people told me like JayR, like, you should have put that on paper. So whatever happened between me and him, I should have put it on paper because I did everything I did for him out of love. There was no beef. Like I took the kid in like he was mine. Shout out to Big J, another barber. He does all the wrestlers.
Yeah, I know Big J. Shout out to Big J. He owns a barbershop. I don't know the name of that barbershop, but shout out to Big J for sure, 100%.
Yeah, that's Big J, man. That's my boy from LA. He is the one that referred Dean the Great to me when Rat Pack was falling. So I took him and tried to mentor him. And a lot of messages got misconstrued in his ear once he got them bright lights. I have pictures from bodyguarding him from day one. Day one.
From the street fights.
The street fight.
From the YouTube street fights. Yeah.
Me and him. He would ride around with me in my Range Rover or my Corvette. Yeah. So it's a lot of situations, and that situation is really heavy on my heart that I speak about later on. But that kid, it was like the nail in the coffin when I was going through, because it was at the highlight of my company was going down. They say I was scamming people. I got scammed.
You was managing Dean the Great when Rat Pack was going down, or was it was in that same process?
In that same process, because I'm gonna say it clearly. I was praying that something sticks on the wall. In business, you make mistakes, and I made a lot of mistakes. I'm not perfect, but there's no success without failing. And I failed big and heavy and in front of my peers, in front of everybody. I had to still walk the city. I still had to go around. I got eviction notices on my house. They took my Range Rover. They took my business. All my stuff that was in the office, it got sold. My Bronze Star, a lot of that stuff.
Really?
So I lost a lot of artifacts in that situation.
Oh, so they took possession.
Yeah, they took everything.
Unbelievable.
That's fucking crazy.
So I have no recollection in my mind of it. I do, but personally, I had a store, I had a class in there, I had office employees. Like, it was the best idea.
You did have a store in there. Yeah, I remember. You was selling the clothing,
Right.
bulletproof vests.
Yes, everything.
Like military grade shit. Yeah, I remember that shit.
Yeah.
That's wild, bro.
But imagine like doing all this and people are plotting against you. So that's what was happening all along. But I was still fighting against the devil's energy. Like, okay, we're gonna make this happen. And real entrepreneurs gonna fight to the end. Like, you're not gonna give up. Like, we entrepreneurs, why? Because we jump off the porch, right? Like, we have no filter. We daredevils. We gonna lose some money to make some money, but it ain't all been easy. And in that period of time of me building Rat Pack from 2018 to 2021, when I had to shut down in April, it wasn't all easy. Like, I made it look like I had a smile on my face, but I would work for clients that would never pay me. And some of your best rappers, I'm not gonna throw no names. Some of your best rappers. Yep. Some of your best rappers. So, you got guys that we did situations for and they never took care of their invoice, and to this day. But I was able to wiggle through it. I put a lot of my money into Rat Pack.
I know.
I fed a lot of people.
I seen you build it, and I seen, unfortunately, I seen you lose it all. And I seen that, bro. I mean, it hurt me. It hurt me to see that, bro, because I know what you're about. I know what you represent. And I know you gave it all for that company.
Right.
You know?
I love them guys. Like, it came to a point to where it was just taking over my life.
I wouldn't say you lost it all because you didn't, because you're an entrepreneur. But when it
Right.
comes to that specific business,
Yeah.
bro, and it was a powerhouse.
That was my baby.
So I know, no matter how you put it, bro, it was a huge loss.
That was my baby.
Of course.
It was a huge loss. But I mean, obviously you're here now, you know. You never gave up.
Right.
What are you doing now?
Well, first of all, them times that I was away, it was dark days, and that's what prompted me to write a book. And my book will be out in November.
What's the name of it?
The Dark Days of Entrepreneurship as a Combat Veteran.
Mm.
And it's going to tell the story about what we're talking about now and how to connect the dots. Because everybody on Instagram or social media or entrepreneurs they're gonna sell you that piece of cake, but they ain't gonna tell you how it's gonna digest in your body. If you're diabetic, if you're vegan, if you need one more piece or another piece, because it's got to come out. So they're gonna sell you that cake. It sound good and it looks good, and I'm gonna eat it. But they don't know like what's in your stomach, how your stomach gonna feel after that. So when I went through all that, it made me pivot to becoming what my dream is and my passion and my gift. And I tell people all the time, there should be 3 things you should have that fuse your economics, right? And that should be, you have a day job. Back in the day, right, there would be people to be like, never quit your day job.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because if you lose something trying to build something,
You still got something to fall back on.
Got something to fall back on. And when I lost everything, people don't know this, and I'm gonna tell this on a.
That's why you never put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Right.
You can never do that.
Right.
Keeping your day job feeds your side hustles.
Right. And you gotta
It feeds your drive. It's what drives you, bro. Even though you have something bigger in motion, that day job, what you know best is your drive.
That feeds a family right there.
Absolutely.
That feeds your hustle. Like you gotta have a day job, a passion job, and a gift that nobody can take from you, because that's what God gave you. And I discovered my passion. My passion is security, talking about it, making people feel safe. But my gift is motivational speaking and life coaching and mentoring these kids, because they need to see the failures of entrepreneurship. They need to see what it looks like from people like us, that they might think that I'm one way. After this podcast, they're gonna be like, damn, I didn't know he went through all that. Like March 13th last year, I almost took my own life because I couldn't understand how I went from superhero to zero in front of my kids as a 40-year-old man losing everything.
I was there when he was going through that shit, bro. I know that shit was strong. That shit was heavy. And bro, people, unless you're put in that position, I feel like you can never understand that. You know what I'm saying? When you lose something so big that you put your whole heart into, bro, I mean that shit destroys your mind. You start to question yourself, like, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of negative thoughts that come with that.
Right. It is. And the greatest thing about it is you figure out who you are. When you at rock bottom, you know exactly who you are now and what you gonna do.
You got to reposition yourself.
And if you don't get up, you're just gonna sit there, because ain't nobody. Everybody say, hey, my brother, but ain't nobody gonna come and like talk that life back into you. But you got to start that process yourself.
And you know what's crazy, bro? And I know you've seen this. A lot of times, the closest people to you won't even talk to you in that situation. It's almost like they'll sit back and watch, almost out of enjoyment.
Bro,
ain't that some shit?
That's crazy you hit on that, because everybody I put on and gave everything I could to, when I went through it, nobody said anything. Nobody.
They just sat back and
watched, bro.
Let's see what he does.
Bro, I was still having 2 dudes living with me. So my house was a safe haven for veterans. 26 veterans lived with me. I showed them to where Kaiser University was at, and I helped them with their disability. I did that because of me. And then what else I did? Helped them work for my company, because I created income for these people. So at least them 26 people would have showed up, right? But what about the other hundreds that I put on and did work for? Like, I did work for a lot of your favorite celebrities that never paid me. I did work for the gentleman you just spoke about for 2 years, and he never paid me. But when I went down, he jumped on the train of FJR.
Yeah.
Because it looks cool, right? It's the energy, right? It's like, okay, he did it. He ain't taking up for himself, so he did it. So I understand sometimes, but then I don't, because it's like, if I rock with you, you know my character. Like you said earlier, Rory, You know who I am at my core.
Mm.
So all the lies that looks good online, that ain't him. And the people that like, I would come get a haircut and Kenny was like, just as simple, put his hand on my shoulder, it's gonna be okay. Roy, you good? I got whatever you need. I was going through it. And these gentlemen didn't judge me.
Mm.
They saw, because whether we believe it or not, we inspire each other. And when my inspiration ran out, they inspired me. Right. So that's how it should work. And I look to the people for simple things, but the people that I thought would show up never showed up. And what's crazy is, God he still blesses me with my good heart, right? So I still don't understand, but I understand. But the reason why I'm resurfacing is because I'm working my butt off to pay these people back that my company owes, so I can close that chapter.
That's what's up.
I'm
bro.
doing something special behind the scenes that they opened up my books. And for years, Kenny, they were stealing from me. So how you put allegations on someone that said they did this, that, and the third, and when the bookkeeper's looking at the books so they could try to help me get some money back so I could pay these people, the very company I employed, the employees were stealing from me. That hurt my heart because I always knew it. I just didn't know what was going on. And that's what influenced me to go get my master's in business. Because we say we know business until we hit rock bottom and we don't speak the language of it.
Mm.
Right. So I don't say everybody needs to go get a master's in business, but I was so determined to show people that I lost, but this is what I did when I failed. And I'm coming back. I got certified as a motivational speaker. I got certified as a life coach. I'm a certified business consultant. I went to school for that. I'm 6 classes away from my master's in business with a concentration in management with a 4.0. And I'm always already ready for my DBA, my doctorate in business. So I can show the world what it looks like. Now I can speak the language of business and help people like myself don't fail and don't go that way.
Right. Right.
And you're gonna listen to me because I failed too. I got the criteria now. It don't sound cool. It's informative. Hey, get your shit together. Why? Because I just went through this and now I got documentation. Let me show you how not to. Now it's your choice whether to believe me or not.
Mhm.
So I got to thank Rat Pack because my pivot is ever stronger than ever. And when I lost everything and March 13th rolled around and I didn't take my life, and I wrote that suicide letter to my kids, my dad spoke to me and I started to believe again. So God blessed me to get a job.
God bless your dad too, bro.
And my dad is powerful.
Yeah,
Those who
just-
don't know him, like
Yeah.
that's my best friend. And I always speak about it openly because, excuse me while I get on my soapbox, that black man right there put life into me in an era where the 80s and 90s, nobody gave you a blueprint of how to raise kids in that situation. And he did it when my mom died. Shout out to him. And Kenny know I love my dad because when he come in, it's like, hey, my dad here, he need a cut. Kenny stopped everything he's
Pops.
doing. That's pop. I'm gonna hook him up because he preaches
Mhm.
and he speaks
That's what he
life.
is. He's a bishop.
He's a bishop. Yeah, that's my dad. I love him, and he was there through my darkest times. With a lot of people that was there, but my dad was one of them. And shout out to Dwight, shout out to Cal, shout out to Brittany, shout out to my family, my sister. She picked up everything she had and came. I was working as a janitor after I lost Rat Pack. Imagine that. Top CEO of a Rat Pack for a security company.
Over 300 employees.
Over 300 employees, working with your top celebrity, scrubbing toilets at your favorite gym.
That's just to let everybody know, man, when you come to failure and you see yourself at rock bottom, man, it's never the end. You know what I'm saying? You keep pushing, you keep going.
Yeah.
Don't ever doubt yourself
Definitely.
or feel like you got to give in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Life is too short for you to do that.
Right.
There's always an easy way out, but it's the coward way out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Keep fighting.
Keep fighting.
Keep fighting.
And that's when my dad, like, you can't go buy ambition in Walmart or work ethic.
Mhm.
I learned that from my granny. I learned that from my daddy. Like, you can't go and say, oh, you know what? I'm going to go to Aisle 9 and pay $200 to get a little ambition. No, my dad gave it to me. So when I hit rock bottom, all that shit connected and it started to elevate and it started to come together like a puzzle. And I thought I was in a matrix. And I started to work as a janitor for about 6 months. And then I got moved up to the front desk. And then I met a gentleman that was sent in the right time, in the right situation. Because if you let him tell it, He was only there for a couple of more days. And we talked, our energies met. He gave me his business card. I didn't know what he did. I didn't care. I just wanted to get out of scrubbing toilets. He said he wanted to talk to me. And what's crazy is that happened on Friday. Monday, I had an interview with my college to work. They say I wasn't the right fit. Cried some more. I teared up. I met that man Tuesday. Thursday, I had a call to come meet him at Panera Bread. For what? What are we talking about? Just meet me here. Meet at 9 o'clock. I'm there. I'm going to tell the job that I can't come in to 12. Scrubbing toilets. I'm still respectful.
And humble.
And humble. And I walk into Panera Bread. Are you hungry? Nah, I'm good. I was hungry, though, because I haven't ate in a few days. When I went through that, I would feed my kids more than I feed myself.
Of course.
But I was still in the gym. Gym and prayer saved my life. But I was still in the gym. I was barely eating. So he fed me. He asked me if I was hungry. I said no. He was like, you sure? I'm like, yeah, you know. Then he got me coffee and a sandwich bun, breakfast sandwich. And then he said, can you read them? And it was blueprints. And I was like, yeah. I put my phone on airplane mode and put it out of the way. Respect, like, okay, whatever. I don't know what's going on. And he said, read them. Hour reading them. He eating. He checking his phone. He doing emails. He asked me a few questions. We're going through interview. I didn't know I was going to interview. We're going through interview. Like, okay. So he's doing what he's doing. He's looking at me. He's surveying, whatever. Gave him my resume. He looked it over. He was like, why are you here? I don't know. Nobody wouldn't hire me. Nobody wouldn't hire me with a master's degree, bachelor's degree, military experience. So kids, like, education is big, but no matter who you are, if God not ready for you, you ain't going to get that shot. So just understand that. Like, God wasn't ready at the time. And then after the interview, he said, hey, I walked to my car. He walked to yours. He said something. He was like, oh, you got a Corvette? Yeah, whatever. It's cool. I like, call me. I was already disappointed. I went through a lot of disappointments. What else can I lose? I get a call from his boss. Hey, you met with such and such? Yes, I did. What did he tell you? He told me this, and this, and that. This is who I am. I'm this, and this, and that. I'm looking for this, and this, and that. Superintendent. What is that? You do this. Now he's showing me the job scope, what I'm supposed to do. I know about construction, but I don't want to do it. Right? I got my mind made up. I'd rather scrub toilets, right? Not knowing the blessing that's about to come. Like, you got to correlate this speech. So he tell me the scope, tell me what I'm going to do. I tell him I'm a motivational speaker, I'm life coaching. He say he'll give me time off to do some things like that. Told him I'm going through a bankruptcy. Like, I had 3 eviction notices on my...
You was just telling him everything.
Yeah. I had 3 eviction notices on my door, and I'm still thinking about working at Crunch. Right? And that's the gym. I didn't want to say it, but it just came out. It was paying me every 2 weeks like $400 or $500. But it kept my mind going, right? And he said, hey, how about I offer you a job for $72K a year? I said, is this contracts? I'm thinking naive. I'm like, what is this? Is this 1099? He said, no, it's salary. I'm in the store trying to buy my son some new underwear and socks because I haven't bought them in a year because I've been going through it. So he's in high school. Shout out to my son. And I stopped the basket and I cried. Because for 2 years, I didn't think anybody valued me. And this company, this man that didn't know me, took a chance on me. You feel me? Like, every chance I gave everybody else, ain't nobody took a chance on me my whole life. He took a chance on me, pushed him up to his boss. His boss gave me a job that day. I started 2 weeks later. I've been working. That's my day job. And that's what God wanted from me. Because now I'm able to operate where I'm cared about, when I don't have to worry about the profit and loss, the overhead, the people not showing up to work, the uniforms, the attitudes at work. Like, all this stuff with it comes with entrepreneurship. It's the dark days.
Yes, sir.
And then imagine running a veteran-owned company that hires veterans. So, JayR, you're not the only one in your head messed up. There's several. And on days it might be good for them, and on days it might be bad. So I'm running a company full of crazy folks, right? No, seriously, like, but The government says, hey, hire your veterans, hire your peoples, hire everybody. So I hired everybody, but my company was veteran owned, right? I'm veteran, I'm minority owned. I'm gonna look out for my people. I'm gonna give them stuff that I didn't give. I'm gonna put them in position that I didn't have. I'm gonna give them chances that nobody gave me. I'm gonna take a chance on me. And that company took a chance on me. And I sat there and cried and prayed and looked up to the sky, called my dad, called a few other people. And then he was like, all right, we'll send you the offer letter. So I'm like, okay. The offer letter will be sent within 3 weeks. They sent it to me in 20 minutes. And my life changed from there because all I needed was somebody to believe in me, give me hope. I ran out of everything. They took everything. They took my Range Rover. They seized my banking accounts. They humiliated me online. I lost everything. I had nothing. I was squatting in a house for 6 months, waiting for the police to kick it in so they can take everything I have and put me and my kid on the street. Nobody knew that. I still came in here and got haircuts. I still gave to people. I still did jobs in between. Remember, I came to the dog show. Didn't talk about it. The little money Kenny paid me, I'm happy. That's a full tank of gas. Because guess what? I could go flip that to go do some more work.
Yes, sir.
Right? That's a hustle mentality. But I added that. Thanks, kid, Kenny. I appreciate it. I love you. Take this money, flip it with the other guy, pay him, get my little cash. I'm put some gas in my car, and I'm driving with no L's because they suspended my license because I didn't have no insurance.
Wow.
So it was a lot.
And like back to back to back.
Yeah, so I'm driving nervous. I'm driving like I'm back in Long Beach, matter of fact, because, in California, a lot of people don't have license. You got cars, but you don't have license. So we driving dirty. So I'm trying to I remember I got stopped in Riverview in the police, and I didn't have no registration, and I lied. And I said, I just got back from deployment. Can you spare me? And they spared me because I was a veteran. But I had to do something because I didn't want to go to jail, or I didn't want to, I didn't have no registration. I didn't have no money to pay nothing. Nothing. Creditors calling me every day, nervous, biting your nails out, trying to figure out the next move, how you gonna make it work. Disappointing people in your life, like it sucks. People don't talk about that entrepreneurship. Talk about, hey, let me go bust this 20K. Let me go sell this house. Let me go get this. Let me go get this. But you don't talk about the mental capacity.
Nobody does.
It don't look cool.
That's why everybody thinks entrepreneurship is easy.
It's not easy at all. I got my ass kicked, Kenny, Rory.
Yep.
Like humbled online. My name splattered, YouTube, on the page, on the news. He did it. And guess what? I had people who worked for me and I never did nothing. I paid them to do something that I got blamed for. But I took it because I never wanted to make them out to be the enemy, especially two of the ones that I hold dearly to my heart. They didn't have nothing to do with it. They were still trying to understand, but it was coming at a fast pace. And the person, along with Rat Pack diving, I took another bet to go get this contract that came from Dubai, a guy from Lebanon, from a real lawyer from Maryland that connected me from another security source.
This was what brought it down.
This what brought it down. This was the last what's it called? The last missile that sunk that ship. Like this was it. I betted on it. This was
How to do that shit though? How'd that shit come about?
Right. So I got a call when I was doing a Super Bowl in Los Angeles, talking about a client needed security. I did a threat assessment. I ran it through. It seemed all real. I met with the lawyer. He flew into Tampa right after the Super Bowl was over. He was here for 2 days. Met with him, had him in my car. We talked about it, talked about his client. He left. He said the client wants my services. And I got the voicemail. I could still play it right now over the line. I could play it. It'll scare the shit out you. He said his client needed 20 guys for 13 days. The bill came up to about almost $800,000. That was going to save my company. But me being blinded, all I was looking for is how can I save Rat Pack from drowning, because I cared so much about the people that was in Rat Pack. And keep in mind, I never paid myself. So for 4 years as a CEO, Remy can vouch, the books can vouch. I never paid myself because I read a book in entrepreneurship and
people kept on building, using all the income.
I would use my money to put back in the company. Like my human resources would tell you, JayR never took a paycheck unless I went to go bodyguard for a body. in the office, pushing paperwork and heaviness and running that company. I never got a check as a CEO. So when I lost not only my company, I lost nothing because that year was a year I was supposed to get a paycheck.
That was your paycheck.
That was my paycheck. And I
Yeah.
lost it all. Betting, because it was like, okay, JayR, you're going down. How much money you need to recover? We was getting denied loans. We was getting denied benefits because they say they got all these resources out there for veteran-owned, minority-owned, get into government contracts, but nobody was selecting us. Right. So, and I'm not never saying anything. I'm trying to make it work by little jobs. I am securing the city. Even for the COVID and the protests, we had people at Kenny Door. I had people throughout the city on both sides, people throwing rocks and people holding shields that was throwing rocks, shields. Like, people don't understand that. During COVID, when people wasn't getting paid, I employed 100-something people. We guarded the COVID sites, which was 12 around Tampa. We guarded ones outside of Florida.
You guarded my barbershop too.
Barbershop, yeah. We guarded a protesting event. We guarded a couple of news reporters. We blew up because I was willing to bet us against
You were securing like Black Lives Matter too during that time.
everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. And guess what? When I went through it, nobody showed up. I'm a member of the NAACP. They didn't show up. I'm a member of a lot of these entrepreneurship groups out here in Tampa. They didn't show up. I'm friends with some of the people that could have gave me money to save my company. They didn't show up. And then, you know what's crazy? People said, oh, all you could have did was ask. You saw it online though, because you called me. Are you okay? What you mean? I'm not okay. But you know what helped me? Help me save my company. You know what? Don't even do that. Take my son and play the fool. I'm not eating tonight. Right? So people don't know the ins and outs of that. This is real life. This is facts. You know, on top of that, I'm managing a kid and trying to get him to the top. I'm securing him first. Trying to get him to a spot because I saw talent. And I saw the factors that played into everything that was going on. People that he was losing around his life. You know, he came to me when they shot his event up. I didn't go look for this. Like, I don't go look for these clients. They call me, hey, you JayR? Yeah, what's up? What you want? Oh, I heard you do this, that, and I do. Here's my website. I heard you the best. Here's my prices. Some people be like, oh, you don't want to pay the best in prices? Or, hey, how about we do it for this? And, you know, people don't understand security is weird, because if you do a contract, you don't get paid to net 30, net 60, net 90. That means 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. 3 months, 6 months, 12 months that you don't get paid. So you do the job. So if you have a company that's booming like that, you better have capital behind it. You better be able to push it. And guess what? I started Rat Pack with my own capital. So what capital are we getting? And then if you have people that say the PPP loans came out, and I'm telling facts, they gave us $270,000 during COVID. We ran through that in 6 months on payroll, because I was going to school and I paid people to do certain jobs, president, vice president, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And I come back.
All that racks up.
I come back and they're not invoicing the companies we're securing. So where's the money going? I come back, we had 65 grand. Wait, hold on. Like, I thought we had this count, that count,
So
that
you
count.
had fraud going on.
I had fraud going on, and I had people that were scared to speak up and not understand how business is ran.
Yeah.
So I employed people to do a job that they couldn't do the job. It's only two or three people that I wish that relationship I would save. And this is on the record. That's, you know, I spoke to her the other day. That's Angelica and her mom. Shout out to them. She had a baby boy. You know, she was my friend before it started. She was working at the car wash. She was washing. She was cleaning people's houses. You met her, Kenny.
Yeah, good people.
And I put her in position all the way until she made vice president. Really good girl.
Angelica did a lot of big things for Rat Pack. I remember. She was running a lot of shit, bro. She was responsible for a lot of things.
Yeah,
a lot of invoices. A lot of.
And teaching her was Remy. Remy was her mentor, and then I kept the ball rolling. But what's crazy was everybody would attack her.
Yeah,
you know, and she was learning on the fly. She was the only one that was able to. And what's crazy was that we were trying to better ourselves with education, right? There were programs for veterans to learn how to do entrepreneurship, right? I would get my company, individuals, like 8 of us, to go through these programs. 11 weeks, 7 weeks, how to know how to do profit and loss, how to look at your assurances, how to look at invoices, how to look at proper placement, uniforms, how to know business. And these people were, I don't need that.
Mm.
And half of them failed the test. So I should have knew by then they wasn't all bought in like me and Remy. But I loved them. And to get back on the people I would bring back, and the other one is Sean. Like me and Sean, we both cancer. So whatever happened between us, we was both emotional how it went. And it was never supposed to go that way because we had people in between keeping that fire lit. So I'm able to say on record, like, I miss him and I wish we could speak. But at the end of the day, like, it is what it is. You know, him and my sons were really cool. And that relationship got squandered by other people inside the business, in his head, in my head.
Yeah.
And then it came to a point to where my company came to a point to where they fired him and wanted me to sign off on it.
It's gossip. Gossip is a cancer.
Right. It
You
is.
know what I'm saying? When you got people on the inside, there's a lot of snakes.
A lot of them.
And I think with business, man, that's like something that you got to be so aware of. Because there's people that act cool with you, bro, but they're really trying to bring you down.
They really want your spot.
So they start gossiping, they
Right.
start lies. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
they're so good at it, bro. It's so destructive.
Bro, it was a cancer in my office. It became toxic to the point I didn't even want to be there. But I did it because I was saving lives. That paycheck that was paying people every 2 weeks, that's all they had.
Which comes out of your own capital.
My own capital, right?
Okay,
And I'm trying to save it. And I'm landing. Ain't nobody helped me land the Super Bowls. Ain't nobody helped me land Rolling Loud. And nobody helped me land the private contracts I had. Sean helped me land 7th and Grove. Shout out to them. That's a black-owned business downtown in Ybor. They're thriving. Sean ran that account. He brung that to me. But the rest of the accounts was me. So if me feeding me and trying to feed y'all, who really eating? I was starving, bro. Like every week we would pay, every 2 weeks we paid them. I ain't take no paycheck. This is on record. 4 years, I didn't get a paycheck. I'm using my own money, investing it, trying to make it work, and look what it is, what it not, what it ain't.
Right.
I would work for certain people on the side, and they would take months to pay me. I'm talking about $150. So my price range of bodyguarding specifies. If I do an threat assessment, that means I come do a surveillance of your situation, your location, and it might take me a few hours. That's $1,000. Now, if I go overseas, it's $1,000 a day. If I do stateside, it's $500 a day. You know, you had people that wouldn't pay that, but then will go around and you rolling up in a Mercedes, or you got this nice jewelry on, but you want me to give you this facade of protection that you can't pay for. But guess what I would do? I'm rolling with it because it is what it is. It's my heart. I love you. Let's make it look what it ain't, what it is.
It's the same thing with the music business. A lot of artists want the beats for free.
The nerve of you. The nerve. And you work all day for that.
Yeah, and I'm like,
right.
No.
And how you going, when all that stuff happened and people start taking sides, how you gonna beef with the person that protected you?
Right.
You hired me. When your event got shot up, you hired me. When you got ran up on with a gun in December at the gym, you call me. These artists, they call me when they need real protection because they knew us as tactical. We would suit up. I would still keep the LA hat on, and we go do our job. And we made everybody feel safe. So when Rat Pack fell, it hurt me because it was my baby I gave to so many people. It hurt me to the core. And yeah, these people was like, oh, get over it. Get over what? Like, you don't understand. Like, I birthed that baby.
Yeah.
And guess what? I let the people down, the disabled veterans and the veterans that are no longer here no more that I was representing because I didn't keep my deal, my promise. I failed. I couldn't hold the building no longer. Like it was getting heavier.
Yeah. That's a lot of pressure.
And you will see on my Instagram page when I tell these stories and people was like, you went through all that? Yes, I did. But I'm happy now. You know what's crazier? I'm happy now that I went bankrupt. I pay $1,000 a month for 5 years. Let's put that on the record. So that's the cost of failure in business. When you don't pay your bills and you have a heavy, extensive loans and you have no income coming in, they seize what's yours because you're the owner. And if you don't file for bankruptcy, you lose everything. So I woke up and they took my Range Rover.
Damn.
My son heard it leaving the driveway.
That's fucking crazy.
I had 3 eviction notices on my door.
Yeah.
I was squatting. I couldn't pay. And then if I could pay, they wouldn't take it because I've been there so long. So it was already going through a litigation.
Yeah.
People don't understand. That's the verbiage right there. Like bankruptcy is hard because credit, it affects credit too. You can't go buy a house.
Of course.
I can't even get into another living situation because I had the bankruptcy when they ran my credit.
Takes years. Takes years to be able to come back.
Right.
Come back from that.
Right.
That shit kind of, bro, that shit fucks you up.
Yeah, it fucks you up. But to a point to where, Walt Disney went through, I think, 17 bankruptcies. In the last bankruptcy he went through, he didn't pay at least 100,000 of his employees, and he had a huge ticket. You can look it up. And it didn't make me feel so bad. But guess what I want to do? I learned from this, and I'm behind the scenes working hard.
What did it make you do? What did that experience go and make you do?
Work harder.
And get what? What kind of degree are you going to get?
On my doctorate in business.
So that shit can't happen again.
No, it ain't.
You see,
and I'm not gonna let it happen.
So it's a learning experience that you go through.
Right.
And a lot of people are just gonna be like, fuck it.
Right.
They're just gonna be like, damn, this shit happened. They're not gonna make themselves better.
Right.
And keep on pushing.
Right.
And keep on making things happen.
Right.
So let me ask you this. With all these crazy experiences, man, you're in a different mode now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got a different vision.
Right.
What are you doing from here on out? What's your goal? What's your vision? What are you trying to achieve now?
So I'm already in that vision and my gift. I'm speaking. I speak at local colleges and colleges around United States about entrepreneurship. I'm working on my book right now. It should be out in November. I'm consulting. I got my business consulting certification, so I can go into business and consult to them about the dark days and mental, and help them with their books and look over personalities. And I would say this: the youth or whoever wanting to start a company, make sure your employees take a personality test.
Yeah.
That's big. It's online. You can Google it. It's got 3 or 4 of them. You get to see who the high eye, who the fly, who the captain, all that. You get to see what positions these people are applying for and where they need to be.
And when you see a snake, snip it in the butt, man.
Exactly.
And everything that's corrupted, you gotta cut it.
Right.
You gotta cut it. It's a cancer.
Right.
It's a cancer, and that goes for all businesses.
Right.
Because all businesses go through the same thing.
Right.
It's sad that it happens, but it's reality.
Right.
No one is always going to be for you.
Right.
They could be winning off of you.
Right.
But they're not for you.
Yeah. As soon as they get the opportunity to
one up, they're gone. Yeah.
They're gone.
Definitely.
You know
and that's what I saw too. And I'm happy, but I'm the happiest bankrupt. I'm happy that I don't have to deal with the late night phone calls. This person didn't show up. This person did this. This person is drunk on duty. This person doing this. I need this. I need that. That was killing me. And I was already going through certain situations. So it was hard for me to even have a personal life because my hands were in everything. But now I speak, I teach, I'm working on my book. I'm doing a lot of podcasts. This was my very first one about just opening up about what happened with Rat Pack. So I'm very blessed to even be on this platform. And I want to tell you guys thank you. And, because it's been hard for me to even go through it. And Kenny and Rory, y'all saw me. You didn't know how intense it was until this podcast, but it was intense. I wasn't eating. I barely had gas. I would walk certain places. I was working as a janitor. I was scavenging. I was back to day zero again. And now God blessed me with a day job that I love and I'm appreciated. And I will continue to build on that and continue to speak and mentor kids and the youth and entrepreneurship and write. I got 4 books I want to put out, but this first book is on the dark days of entrepreneurship as a combat veteran.
Amazing.
I'm hoping to get scheduled for these 2 TED Talks. And so I can go up there and be deliberate and intentional. Everything I do is very deliberate. It's very it's a thoughtful process. It's not like you caught me on the fly. I really pray. I really meditate. I really tune into my retrograde and understand who I am as a man and what my influence is. I can say one thing that could corrupt the whole world, or I could say one thing that inspire. And you got to be careful. My dad used to say, be careful who you entertain. You might be entertaining the angels unaware. So who's dancing to your music? It's youth. They
Facts.
pick it up, you know. And what's crazy, I just told Rory outside that a lot of these social media influencers, they're talking from a closet that's very clear with one door. Like, we can't see you, and that's not who you are. And you build a false facade of who you not, and you sell it. How dare you sell something that you're not? Because when I go secure you, you're not that.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of frauds out there,
Oh,
man.
it's a lot of frauds. And I worked for a lot of them that they're your top influencers, top rappers, top this,
It's all fake.
and they're scared in
It's
real
a,
life.
it's a fake life.
Yeah, definitely.
But you know what, JR, man, I appreciate you, man, for coming on to the Groomsmen podcast. You have an amazing story, bro. I'm honored to hear it, bro. I'm honored to be a part of it, bro.
as well.
I'm thankful a lot for everything that you've done,
Right.
not just for me, but for the community.
Right.
And thank you, bro.
Right.
It's been a blessing, bro.
Definitely.
Yeah, I wish you the best, bro. I know you're moving forward, and you have a lot of big plans,
Right.
you know, because they're unfolding,
Right.
you know, and I see it, bro. So God bless you, and everything that you do, your book, bro. I know it's going to be inspiring to many people. And this whole podcast is just to uplift those that have been through the situation.
Oh, definitely. You can do it. You can do it. The faith is like Wi-Fi. You just gotta connect it.
100%.
You gotta find a can you give me the password? You gotta sometimes ask. When we come into places, there are Wi-Fi that you use for free. We just don't know it. And I think that's what you gotta correlate it to. And I thank God for you gentlemen that gave me life to even get on this stage and say my story, regardless of how it looks. I'm an honest man. My dad raised me an honest, fair person. What I went through was very devastating. I believe a lot of things took place into it, but I took full responsibility and accountability. And my last words is, I'm making sure that I pay them gentlemen that sat in my office and didn't do anything, and make sure I pay them and pay the employees that we didn't pay at the last end of Rat Pack. I think it's about a 100 to 120K bill. I'm working on it, and everything go right, and God bless me. Have them paid by the end of the year, close that chapter, sell my Rat Pack name, and continue telling my story on these stages and motivating people.
That's amazing, bro. Thank you so much, bro. And we respect that. I know the followers respect that.
Yeah.
And well, this is episode 6. So thank you guys for tuning in. Amazing story. Once again, man, you're hearing it from the Groomsmen podcast, where we talk about barbers, business, and bullshit. You got me, Kenny the Barber, Sachi Rory, and JayR from Rat Pack Security. This is not the end of his story. This is just the beginning, bro.
Definitely.
It's only unfolding, and it's up from here. Thank you, everybody. God bless.
Thank you.